What is going on, my beautiful people of the world? I made myself some chocolate milk, so I am a happy little man right now. But let me tell you, that was not the case yesterday. I want to regale to you in great detail how much yesterday sucked. What happened yesterday, Nate? Well, I went to my first tournament in 2 years. It took me 4.5 god-awful hours to get there. Now, just to give you some context of why that sucked so much, it took me 2 hours to get home. The same exact route, nothing different, just a different time. Bay Area traffic in a nutshell. It took me more than double the time to get there during the daytime than it did for me to get home at night. Holy fuck, that was miserable. And the worst part of it, too, is that I looked into alternative transportation methods thanks to that. You know, like, if I can do something that has a similar timetable, like, if it takes 3.5 hours to get there, so be it. But then if I don't have to be the one driving, that would be phenomenal, because then I could use that time, you know, for other things. I could do schoolwork, I can just do, you know, personal projects, just play a video game, read a book, who knows. So many options available besides sitting there with my foot on the brake for a minute before I move forward 15 inches and then I restart that time and time again for like an hour straight. God, Bay Area sucks. But so I went to my first tournament in 2 years. Once I finally got there, had a lot of fun. Saw a lot of people I was not expecting to see. Was thrilled about that. I really, I was kind of almost trying to talk myself out of it as well, because I'm not a fan of crowded places. Like, for instance, one of the, like, kind of casual settings that I went to were casuals run by a guy named Tyram. This was mainly for Marvel. He played a lot of King of Fighters 13 as well. And he also hosted some BlazBlue events. I think Spirit Juice actually convinced him to do that, who was one of the people that was there. Shoutouts to him. That wasn't one of the people I was absolutely not expecting to see. But he ran it out of his garage. It's not a big garage, and there were regularly like 30 to 40 people there. You could not all fit in there, so it was very crowded. It got very hot. I'm not a fan of that environment. And so when you're looking at this tournament, it's a decently small venue. It's not as small as just, you know, a personal garage, but still pretty small. And you have people coming in from the Pacific Northwest and Southern California, as well as all the people from Northern California, along with probably people like me who were like, yo, all these people are coming out, I should go out too, there's no reason for me not to. So you're going to have even more NorCal people there than usual as well. It's going to get very crowded, and I'm not good with crowds. I like having my space, plus I'm a very big dude. I take up space. I'm 6'5". I just occupy a lot of the environment naturally. So thanks to that, it can be a little tough for me, because like I don't like people who kind of, you know, like jostle me when they walk by. There's always that quick little flash of irritation, and that happens constantly. My Guilty Gear match, I had a dude who was legitimately like leaning on my arm while I'm trying to play a tournament match. And the fact that I had to actually like kind of nudge him and be like, dude, please back off, is ridiculous. That happened. It didn't matter. Thankfully, it was a Guilty Gear match, because I couldn't give a fuck about Guilty Gear, and I'll explain why in a bit. But the fact that I'm trying to play a tournament match and I have people bumping into me made me like so close to just actually like wanting to shove this dude across the entire fucking room, because he was like a 5'2" little tiny Asian motherfucker that I could have destroyed with a flick of my wrist. But I had some restraint. I didn't do it. If it was BlazBlue, I probably would have, because I was trying to take that shit seriously. But I mean, just events like that, I don't like being in crowded areas. That's why I really enjoyed the casuals that I used to go to, because there were like anywhere from 5 to 10 people. That was pretty much it, and we just sat, we played, we had space, and it was comfortable. And that's another thing too, is that like this place is not comfortable for anybody that's tall. Like, the stools are so small that I have to like tuck my feet behind me, because there's not enough leg room for me to extend them forward. If I try to, like, you know, do the normal thing where you want to sit down and you kind of more or less want your knees at a 90-degree angle, not possible with how small these stools were. my knees would have been like up to my chest, which good luck fucking playing on an arcade stick if that's your situation. So I had to like tuck my feet behind me in order to keep my legs straight so I could actually play on the stick. Just very uncomfortable environment for me, and that's fine. I mean, that's something you have to adjust to. You can't, like, that's no excuse for losing, but still, it's just, that's kind of, I was kind of trying to talk myself out of it because I knew that's what I was walking into, and I was like, on top of that, it's going to be so goddamn crowded. Maybe I should just wait for next month when it's not going to have all these extra people there. And I'm so happy I did not do that, because despite, like I said, despite all the discomforts, despite the crowd, despite the fact that most of my tournament matches happened in this fucking overhang thing that was like, the best thing I can describe it as is like, imagine a giant ass bunk bed. That's basically what this setup was. There were like two picnic tables set next to each other, and there's an overhang that like has a bunch of setups on top of it, but the overhang's only about like maybe 5.5 feet tall. So like I basically had to bend myself into an L just to get underneath that to get to the setups. It was so uncomfortable, but nonetheless, like I had so much fun, and here's why. Like I said, I saw so many people I was not expecting to see. Among them, Dacid Bro. Like, I was expecting to see people like Orion X Elite 2GB combo. They're there all the time, and they're, you know, some of the classic people that were there. I was not expecting Apology Man to be there. That was a pleasant surprise. Dacid Bro was there, another pleasant surprise. Spirit Juice and Koopa were both there. Unfortunately, I missed Koopa. I saw him walking by, but I was in the middle of a conversation, so I didn't want to I should have just cut him off and run over there and said hi, because I saw him walk by once, and then I never saw him again. I don't know where he went. I don't know, like, I don't know where he went, but I never got to say hi to him, and that sucks, because Koopa's definitely one of my favorite people. A dude named Tone, I don't know if many of you would know him, because he doesn't play, like, he's so hype. He's, like, one of the most energetic people I've ever met. It's just, he makes stuff better by being there and experiencing it with him. He's one of those people, and I haven't seen him in ages, and he was like, it's just so fun to see all of these people, and I met a bunch of new people, and it was just fantastic all around. So I'm so happy that I didn't forego doing that, but the tournament itself sucked for me. Guilty Gear. I am so bad at Guilty Gear, I didn't even go 0-2. I went 0-1 and got kicked out of the tournament. Here's why. Like I said, not good with crowds. I'm not a fan of it, and it's also just a factor of, like, because I am big and I take up more space than anybody else in the entire vicinity, I want to stay out of the way. I don't want to be, you know, like, blocking pathways. I don't want to have to force people to, you know, like, nudge past me or kind of, you know, have to say, hey, excuse me, let me walk past. I want to be out of the way, and I want to be able to just handle my own business. So, thankfully, it's basically, the best way I can describe it is almost like, it was kind of like a bunch of warehouses, or like even storage units where they have, you know, kind of like those roll-up doors. I don't know, there's probably an actual term for them, but I don't know it. But like where you have the like the giant doors where you have to use the chain to actually like pull it open. That was the kind of environment that it was. And so thankfully they had the foresight to mount a television on the wall high up above. So I was able to just stand outside in the absolutely beautiful weather and just watch the stream from there, and, you know, talk with people that were outside along with me. But unfortunately, for my first Guilty Gear match, nobody came outside to try and, you know, call my name, because some of them were doing it, but there were like, I think 3 or 4 different people that were running brackets, and one of them, the one that I guess had my part of the bracket, didn't come outside to call my name. So I had no idea. Like, I was just kind of wondering, because I was talking to Dacid Bro a lot, because I haven't seen him in ages. So obviously we wanted to catch up, and he got called for like 4 matches, and I'm sitting there like, I haven't been called once. What the hell is going on? And then finally they call my name. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I walk up, and he's like, oh, you're Tatas. I entered as Tatas, by the way. I was really hoping that I could get, and I specified, please put it in capital letters, so that it was just a giant Tatas as my name. But god damn it, I failed to get on stream, and that's my own damn fault. But, and I'll get into that in a bit. But so, it was just so funny as time went on. Like, every single time they had to yell my name, it just made me smile. It was just, having people yell Tatas, it got me so good. But yeah, so anyway, so I walk up to him, and he's like, oh, you're Tatas. we couldn't find you earlier, so I actually had to DQ you from your first match. And so I was like, oh, that's why I had to wait so damn long. So I start out in losers. Obviously, I lose. If I had played Kai or Leo, I might have stood a chance of winning a couple matches, but I picked Answer, and it was as awful as you would imagine, and I failed completely. God gotta love the guy that I played. Been around for ages, a dude named Shining Aquas. And he was trying to like give me advice and kind of like try to build me up. And the entire, like, I appreciate the effort, but it's still hilarious because from his angle, I'm a brand new scrub who has no idea how to play this game, right? Versus from my angle, it's like, I know how to play this game, I know how to deal with it, just not with Answer. But I didn't want to just shit on him and be like, yo, dude, just please stop. I know all this already. Like, it was just so nice of him. I didn't want to, like, try to, you know, smack him down or anything. It was really cool. Like, he was actually trying to give me advice and just, like, not be... And try, you know, like, build up players, which is what you should do if you're in a tournament community. You know, anybody with any ounce of logic in their brains knows that the better the competition is around you, the better you're going to get. Because as they keep improving, you're going to have to improve along with them or you're just going to fall behind, right? So that's in your best interest. If you're playing anybody regularly, it's in your best interest to build them up and make them better because it's going to eventually make you better as well. So obviously he understood that and that's what he was trying to do. It was very kind and I very much appreciate the effort. But yeah, I failed as miserably as you can imagine and it just really amused me like that. Of course, Guilty Gear, I'm so bad I can't even properly go 0-2. I just go 0-1 plus a DQ. It's fantastic. But then Unist actually pissed me off. The first match I was not going to win. I was playing against a Phonon who has clearly put in a significant amount of time, like did not drop anything, had setups, had all that good stuff, and I was too rusty at the game. There was no way I was beating that dude. I did put up a good effort in the second match, and if I had played like an hour of casuals beforehand, I think I might have had a shot at beating him, but I was just too rusty and it didn't work out. And then so I won my match after that, and then the match after I should have won, and the entire time I was kind of thinking, like, even on the drive up there, because obviously I'm stuck in traffic for 27 hours, I have plenty of time to think, considering, you know, if I lose in Unist, should I just switch to Nanase? Should I try to take it seriously, or should I just be stubborn and pick Enkidu? Unfortunately, I stayed stubborn. I picked Enkidu. I lost. I should not have lost. I choked. I failed. And the worst part about it is that person that beat me, their next match was streamed. I 100% would have won if I had used Nanase, because he lost terribly to a Nanase that couldn't even do combos, had no setups, just flung shit around, and it just worked. And so it was like, oh my god, if I had picked Nanase, it would have been so free, and then I would have beaten this dude. And then that dude's next match was on stream. He had 3 matches in a row on stream, and I'm fairly confident I could have won every single one, and I would have been on the one on stream instead. And so it's just kind of like, oh, bad decisions. Why did you do this? Why did you stick with Enkidu, you dumbass? You knew it was going to go poorly, and of course it did. So I certainly regret that. And then BlazBlue rolls around. Finally, my first BlazBlue match happens at 9:15 p.m. That hurts. I'm very much a morning person. Just, you know, the jobs that I've had have led to me being very active, very energetic during the hours of like 4 a.m. to around, I would say, like noon. But then once you hit the afternoon, I just kind of start to taper down a little bit, and the darker it gets, the darker my brain gets. It just stops functioning. And so 9:15 p.m. to play BlazBlue's rough. Now, here's the part that fucking killed me. It had been 2 years since my last tournament. 2 years. I don't know specifically exactly how long it's been. I could have looked that up, and I would have if I was intelligent. I'll look that up right now. I just need to find what the release date for BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma was. If I could actually spell Phantasma. The Japanese console release date. So November 21st, 2012. That was for, I think? It was definitely, yeah, because it released in like May or something. Holy shit, wait, 2012? No. Really? So it's been like 5 years since I've been to a tournament. Seriously? I guess that makes sense because Extend came out in between. I blanked out the entire time frame of Extend in there. So it's been damn near 5 years since I've been to a tournament. Actually, I think I went to some Marvel tournaments in between, but never a BlazBlue. Never a BlazBlue tournament. So it's been 5 years, almost 4.5 really, since I have been to a BlazBlue tournament. The last tournament that I went to, okay, yeah, so I am thinking about the Extend time frame. Anyway, so the fuck, I'm so just, I can't believe it's been that long. Holy shit. Alright, anyway, so the last tournament that I went to, first round, I lose to 2GB combo in a very close match. I could have won if I had just made, one different decision. If one decision had gone the other way, I would have won. But that one decision went his way and he won instead. Pretty much the same thing this time. I get 2GB combo in the first round, and the first match, I just wasn't ready. I really was not ready. I am not accustomed to playing against people with reactions. And that's a fault of net play. So, like, he picked Naoto. And I'm thinking, like, oh, cool. I have a lot of experience in this matchup. Coco's a fantastic player. But the thing is that online makes the world different. Offline, 2Gig was able to react, except for 4D, which obviously 4D isn't that great of a move to begin with if they're kind of at, like, mid-range or further away. Any D move I pressed, he forced it to whiff with either the 214A sway or he would use the unblockable. If I tried to use an armor move, either 6A or sledge or whatever, he would use the unblockable, the invincibility would blow through it, and he would hit me through the armor. And it's just like I could not even use half of my moveset because otherwise 2Gig would react to it every single time and punish me for it. And I wish I had been able to play, because I played a few casuals beforehand and I won most of them. But I played Apology Man for a bit, who, those you should know, he's a really good Hakumen player. And he was playing very similarly, just very, very patient. He played that kind of almost Japanese-only style, where if he got magnetized, he was full screen as fast as he could, and he sat there until it ran out. And if I tried to put out any of my D moves, he can counter 2D on reaction free. 5D, he can 4C on reaction free, or he can just counter it. Fortunately, he can't really counter it because the hitbox, lunges forward and then pulls back. So usually it pulls back before the counter actually activates and grabs. But he's still, he's not getting hit by them. He's not running into them in neutral. And if he's close enough to 4C me, he's going to 4C counter hit me every single time and go into a huge confirm. I had to play so fucking patiently, but I only got one game against him because then he got called up for Guilty Gear. And I moved on and started playing other people. But I should have noticed during those casuals that I needed to play more. Because one of them was a Susanoo player. And I was trying to do the Gadget Finger 5A link. And I was mistiming it like 90% of the time. I was running on online timing. And I should have been aware enough to notice, this is a problem. This cannot continue. I need to fix this shit. And unfortunately I didn't. And so once I lost to a Rachel player who I think spent a combined 60 seconds in the 2 matches I played them using various instant overheads, so that was fun. And so, but yeah, I wish I had been able to play him more, because I think I would have been better prepared for 2Gig. And so I lost the first match convincingly. And then I started to adjust after that, noticing, okay, yeah, I cannot use these moves are off limits. I cannot touch them. I need him to fuck up. I cannot take the initiative here. I need him to fuck something up. And so after I started doing that, I started playing a lot better and having a lot more luck. And I should have won actually the second match, but at the end we both had a sliver of health left, and I fucked up. Just execution-wise, I did Magnetech Wheel into Rapid Cancel, and I meant to Barrier, and for whatever reason, I got 5B instead, and he supered me in my face. And I died. And that was that. And if I had blocked that super, I would have killed him, and we would have gone on to match number 3. But execution mistake caught me at the pinnacle, and I lost that match. So anyway, I move on. I win my second one. And then I run into a Valkenheim player in the third match, and this is a match I should have won, but I dropped everything. Every single confirm, I dropped it. Every setup, I fucked it up. Every 360, I fucked them up. Like, I could have just not had my hands on the stick, and I couldn't have played it worse. I really fucked up, and despite that, the matches were still actually close. That's how much I should have won that fucking match, is that I fucked up everything, and I still nearly won. And so that really hurt to go out like that. And then it really hurt afterwards when I looked at the bracket and I saw, like, I think I could have had a top 5 run if I had not lost that match. If my execution had not been as bad as it was, had not been as unprepared as it was for, you know, a lagless scenario. Because I don't only deal with the net play latency. I also have a television. I don't have a regular, like, computer monitor or anything like that. I do not have a lagless monitor. It's very good as far as I'm aware in terms of, like, television quality. It doesn't have a significant amount of delay, but there's still a delay. And so when you move from, you know, some television delay plus online latency to no latency whatsoever on a lagless display, that's a pretty big adjustment to have to make. And I did not play enough to do that, and so that's what ultimately kind of fucked me up, which is truly unfortunate. But anyway, so but after that I was pleasantly surprised, because part of me was kind of like, I should probably leave right now, because I'm looking at like a 2 to 3 hour drive home, and it's about, I think it was around like 10:15ish by the time I finished. But I was like, you know what? Nah, fuck it. I can hang around with some more of these people, you know, talk to them some more, maybe get some casuals in. It'll be worth sticking around. And then the best surprise of the evening, one of the tournament organizers, I don't know how this happened. I don't know if, like, somebody that was there that knew me suggested to let me try out commentating, but he approached me and was like, because I had no intention of walking up to the guy that runs the stream. His name's Brett. I had no intention of walking up to him and just being like, hey, yo, can I get on commentary or something like that? Because I always remember this one moment with Spooky, who, like, one time, I think it was at NLBC, it might have been at some other tournament, but he was running the stream, and you hear, like, off in the background, just barely picked up by the microphone, hey, yo, Spooky, can I get on the mic? And Spooky goes, and he's wearing a mic, so you hear him very clearly, bro, who the fuck are you? I don't know you. No, you can't get on the mic. Don't ask me that. Get involved in the scene more, and then I'll think about it. It's just like, that was so poignant. It's so obvious, right? This is your stream. You're trying to build this up. You're trying to make it something real, and you don't want to just let somebody, you have no fucking clue who they are, just walk in out of nowhere and be like, hey, yo, give me that mic. I'm not going to be that dude. I felt like I needed to establish myself as, like, a regular before I should properly approach somebody, because, you know, they have commentators of their own, right? I don't want to, you know, just walk in and be like, hey, yo, better than them bitches, toss me that microphone. But yeah, one of the guys, I believe he said his name was, see, I'm very confused, because I am 99% certain he told me his name was Alex, but I am also 99% certain everybody that was talking about him was referring to him as Alan. But maybe there was a different person that was running stuff named Alan, so there's an Alan and an Alex. But, like, I'm so certain he introduced himself as Alex. But anyway, incredibly nice dude, like, really glad I met him. But he approached me and he's like, yo, like, you seem to be on really good terms with a few of the people here. I like your energy. Would you like to get on the microphone? Would you like to commentate BlazBlue? And I was like, yeah, I'd really, yes. Yes, please. So I got to, and I'll link to the VOD. Unfortunately, the first, like, 10 minutes are really low-key and honestly pretty bad, I would say, because obviously the best commentary comes with a duo, right? Like, I mean, a solo commentator is perfectly fine, but personally, I think a duo is the best. And, but the problem with that is, if you're commentating with somebody you don't know, it's very difficult. You don't know what their energy levels are like. You don't want to just completely overshadow them. You don't want to accidentally talk over them. So there's a little bit of trepidation when you're starting out, kind of like, all right, what kind of shit does this person react to? How do they react? How do I play off of it? How much do they actually know about the game? That good stuff. And so you need to kind of figure that out. And so unfortunately, the first dude that I commentated with, I only spent one match with him, and then he went off to play. So I didn't really have time to feel him out. Then I got another new guy, and so I did get to start feeling him out, and we commentated the rest of BlazBlue, and it got at least in my opinion, it got progressively better as time went on, because we started to, because there were a few times where we were kind of, accidentally talking over each other, and then we would both kind of have the same realization at the same time and stop and be like, you go, no, you go, oh shit, okay, fine, we'll both go, like that kind of awkwardness, which eventually, you hammer out. You get used to commentating with somebody and you become a lot better, more fluid about it. But it's very difficult when you're first starting out because, again, you have no idea what kind of personality type you're dealing with, and you don't want to be too big in comparison, right? So, but yeah, like I said, the first few matches, not that great, and like I said, I feel like it progressively got better as time went on. So I'm very happy that I had that opportunity, and hopefully I'll be able to go again. It's just that, well, actually, it's not as bad as I thought in terms of the drive, at least in terms of gas. So like, it doesn't cost that much for me to go. I mean, obviously it costs me plenty, but I was actually thinking about potentially looking at trains, and so I did that. Just to kind of think, again, I can sit here and I can just kind of do my own thing on the way there. I don't have to pay attention to driving. I don't have to pay attention to anything except for, when exits are coming up. So I can just, I can do homework, whatever. And so I looked at it, and it turns out, like, just to get from where I am to where I need to go, I would need to use 4 different, like, train companies. And, one of them is super, it costs like basically nothing. It costs like $2.50 for a ticket anywhere on the line. You go anywhere, you just hop on, that's it. You go to the next, you go to whatever stop you need to go to. And then the one after that, a company called Amtrak. I didn't look at their solo costs, and honestly, I don't even want to now. I looked at their weekly, just to get a weekly pass, $168, and it was like $500 for a monthly pass, and I was just like, oh my god. And that's not even thinking about the next 2 stops after there, the next 2 companies that I have to buy tickets for after that. Holy shit. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'll just drive, fuck it. So, but it is unfortunate because I guess, I should have known that this was, or at least at one time I knew this was the case, because they've actually apparently had the same schedule ever since, like I knew that this schedule was a thing. They have a tournament called Cali Burst, the first Saturday of every month, and they have a tournament, the one that I went to, called NorCal Dogfight, every 3rd Saturday of the month, and then they have casuals every Wednesday and Friday. And I would love to go to those casuals, and I might have to look into, like, options to, like, go on Friday and just stay overnight somewhere on Saturday, or for Friday night, and then I can just, go to the tournament on Saturday, so I can do that, twice a month or something, because I think that would be the best option, because then I get that whole day of casuals to begin with, and then I would get to go to a tournament. 100% worth it. And that would definitely be something I would really enjoy doing, but I need to look at, like I said, the options to actually stay there, because obviously, if I can get a hotel for, like, $30 a night or something like that, that saves me money on driving costs. So I don't know, just something to consider. But that really did kind of invigorate me and really make me want to continue doing more of it. So hopefully I get to. And I just wanted to, just talk about that because I figured somebody may find it interesting. Who knows? So thank you for listening. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.